Good morning. Are you with me? It's great to have you. Welcome to a new week. Monday the 29th of June. Can you believe this is week 10 of looking through Mark's Gospel together? We have done an absolutely amazing job. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're looking at this, wherever you are, well done. Let me just adjust. There we are. Perfect. It is great to have you back. Thank you for sending me in your photos. Thank you for joining me again. Let's see who we have. We have the Mann family. I know that sounds, I won't make jokes about that, but this is Henry, Oscar, Lucy, and wonderful Reuben. Thank you, Dad, for sending me a photo of you. Families get extra points now if I see a parent. It is lovely to see a parent in a photo. Now, I looked at this photo initially and couldn't work out what was going on. But then I understood. I first of all worked out it was Jesus surrounded. In fact, shall I zoom in? I then worked out it was Jesus surrounded by soldiers. You see at the bottom? And then we zoom in a bit more. Those are the disciples running away. Do you see they're facing away from Jesus? And then here is the Rudy Nudie who lost all their clothes as they ran away. Well done, Henry, Oscar, and Lucy. That is an excellent telling of the story. Thank you. And then here is the Poe family. Thank you so much for sending me this beautiful picture. I love the smiles. Thank you. And look, I can see some Star Wars figures in there and some lightsabers. Thank you. Thank you for being part of our magnificent Mark's Gospel team. Here we are again. It's a new week. We only have 2 weeks together, and then we have a new plan. No one needs to panic. I look forward to telling you what we're doing next, because we're coming to the end of Mark's Gospel. Who thought that would happen? Shall we pray as we start today? Hands up. Who is going to pray today? Who is going to pray that the Spirit would help us to understand what Jesus is teaching? Ready? You pray. Let's go. Amen. Did you do it? Well done. Now, can I tell you that in my family, look, let's have my family here. There we go, my family, and oh dear. There we go. We'll have. There's a son here. Who else can we find? Who else can we find? Struggling a bit with this. Oh, okay. That's going to have to be a daughter. Okay. And then finally. Oh, look, crumbs. There you go. And then I can't find another son, so I'll have to have. Okay, that's going to have to be my other son. Okay, there you go. There's my family. In my family at the moment, we are playing a game called Who Am I? Okay, so one of us has to think of anything at all. A person, a place, an object, a cartoon character. And then the others have to ask 20 questions to work out what we're thinking of. So, it could be Mickey Mouse. It could be Boris Johnson. It could be Mount Everest. Who am I? Now, I'll be honest, there's been some anger. There's been some shouting. There's been some cheating. We have had some big reactions when we have worked out who am I. Now, in today's story, they play this game. Do you remember where we are? We are gathered in the house of the chief priest. We're gathered in the house of the chief priest. Whoop, there we are. Okay. We're gathered inside the... Oh, dear. It's very hard to make them stand up. We are gathered inside the house of the chief priest, and Jesus is on trial. He is on trial, and they are trying to understand how can they send him to die. I'm going to move the chief priest's house. Here we are. Let's get the religious leaders. Let's get Jesus lined up, okay? So we're finding out today how they played the game of who am I? And when they worked out the answer, oh my goodness, the anger and the explosion was huge. Can you watch out why they get so angry with Jesus's answer to the question, who am I? All right, are you ready? Let's see. Perfect. The high priest asked Jesus another question. Are you the Christ, the Son of the blessed God? Well, they've really got to the heart of the issue. Are you really God's promised king? That's what they're asking. Are you really God's promised king? Are you the Son of God? What is Jesus going to say? We know the answer. But this is the question that could make them very angry. Jesus answered, I am. I am. And in the future, you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the powerful one. I'm going to put on Jesus's king's cape and crown. Now, you know that in real life, Jesus didn't have any of this on. But he is saying, in the future, one day, these religious leaders will see the Son of Man, that's Jesus, sitting at the right hand of the powerful one. Here we are. I've got my throne. One day, you will see Jesus sitting at the right hand of God on his throne. And you'll see the Son of Man coming on clouds in the sky. Woohoo! You see, Jesus is finally explaining it to them. I am the King. I am the Son of God. And one day you will see me on my throne. Do you think they said, oh, good, I'm pleased to hear that? Do you think they said, Jesus, finally we understand and we worship you as we should? Do you think they said, that can't be right, get away? Should we find out what they did say? When the chief priest heard this, he was very angry. He tore his clothes and said, we don't need any more witnesses. You all heard him say these things against God. What do you think? They tore their clothes. They tore their clothes to show how angry they were. We don't need to hear any more witnesses. We don't need to ask him any more questions. What he has said is against God. He is saying he is God. He is. They refused to believe it. They all said that Jesus was guilty and should be killed. Some of the people spat at Jesus. They covered his eyes and hit him with their fists. Do you know, they weren't going to treat him like the king he was. He wasn't on his throne that day. So, do you see what they did? They covered his eyes. Here's our blindfold. Oh, that's round his hat. They covered his eyes. So that he couldn't see. And it wasn't a game. They covered his eyes and they hit him with their fists. They said, prove you are a prophet. Prove it. Show us. Now, we've been through Mark's Gospel. We've seen Jesus prove it. We're absolutely clear. They saw so many of his miracles, but they wouldn't believe it. So then the guards came and they led Jesus away and they beat him. They took him into a corner and they punched him and they kicked him until there was blood everywhere. There's no happy ending to this particular story, but you and I both know why Jesus is allowing this to happen. He told the truth, and they hated him for it. He answered the question, "Who am I?" and they were so angry. Shall we look at some questions together? Now, tomorrow, Tuesday, I am going to let you do this on your own again. Now, can I explain why I'm doing this? I'm doing this because this week and next week, for the last 2 weeks, you are going to be doing Tuesdays and Thursdays on your own. I'm going to give you the passage. I'm going to give you the questions. We are finishing off the book of Mark. We're going to do every single verse from here till the end. But I want you to see at the end of Mark's gospel that you can do this without me. I want you to see how well we are doing. So you know what to do. At the end of these questions, you are going to have some prayer. You are going to pray together. You are going to share. We would love people to be walking through Mark's gospel with us. You might even want to donate on our faithinkids.org page. Because if you have enjoyed the way we've opened up the Bible with families, please help us to come up with more ways to do this with more children. We would love to do more. Will you give to us so that we can? Click on our faithinkids.org page. We would love £10 or £20 a month. Would your family consider that? I'll stop now. Prayer, share, prepare. At the bottom of these questions, you'll see the passage we're looking at tomorrow. Will you prepare the passage we're going to do tomorrow so that when mum and dad come down for breakfast, you say, "Come on, quick, I've got the story ready. Ed is going to give us the questions. We don't need him to be with us. Let's do this, family." Prayer, share, prepare. I'll be back on Wednesday. Please send me your photos. faithinkids.org, info@faithinkids.org or through the Facebook page. Send me your photos. Tell me how you got on. Please encourage me you are doing this rather than just skipping it. You wouldn't skip it, would you? Here are the questions. 3s to 5s. How did they hurt Jesus in today's story? Why did they hurt him? Can you remember why they hurt Jesus? 8s to 11s. Why did Jesus' answer make the religious leaders so angry? What was it about his answer to the question, "Who am I?" that made them so angry? And over 11s. Why does Jesus' answer still cause people to push him away even today? Why does Jesus' answer to the question, "Who am I?" mean people don't want to hear what he has to say? And then tomorrow, there it is. I want you to look at Mark 14:66 to 72. Mum, can you write this down? Mark 14:66 to 72. It's the next few verses. This is a great bit of the story. If you've got your fire ready, you'll need to get that out. Okay, I'll leave you with these questions. Press pause and I'll see you on Wednesday. Well done.